Hi, my name's Jeremy, and this is how we lived inside a camper van for 16 days in Japan. I'm really sorry, that's the wrong intro. You definitely don't have to worry, there are no monsters in Japan. And even if there are monsters here, the locals will just turn it into very delicious sushi straight away. Japan is one of my favorite places to travel to. I love the food, the landscapes are absolutely breathtaking, sometimes literally.
How do you feel, mate? Surviving. See, the summit's just right there.
There's just so much history to discover, and the people here are so friendly. And in 2018, 31 million people came to visit this beautiful country. And for the last 4 years, more and more people are pouring into Japan. So with the 2020 Summer Olympics just around the corner, Japan is expected to host 40 million tourists. And that means Japan's major cities are going to get very crowded. So if you want to stay in a hotel, that might become a very expensive item next year, especially during summer. Which is why my buddy Tem and I selflessly volunteered to investigate if campervanning around Japan is a viable option to seeing this amazing country. Japan, the land of the rising sun. These are the voyages of the Campervan Enterprise. Its 16 days mission to explore new Japanese culture, to seek out new food and beverages, to boldly travel into Japan where no travelers have ever gone before. Japan is home to 126 million people, and for the next 16 days, it will be our home too. And we'll be living in this mobile capsule hotel. This is a Toyota Hiace SLWB. And under the hood is a 2.7-litre petrol engine. The ride is really comfortable, and it can even keep up with a Ferrari. And just like driving any other van, you're basically driving a block of cheese with a lot of surface area for the wind to blow at. So when we're driving through high wind areas like the world's longest suspension bridge on our way to Tokushima, the van got very choppy and it's almost like we're driving a boat. But once you've reached the countryside, Japanese roads tend to be quite narrow. There were some tricky situations, but our super long wheelbase managed to just squeeze through.
Dude, you're very close! Inches!
The narrowness of some Japanese roads should be something you take into consideration when selecting your camping vehicle. Let's check out what's inside our camper van. Inside, you'll find 2 full-length single beds. When it comes to sleeping arrangements, we have only one rule, and that's to prevent accidental spoonage. Spooning is something we avoid, but it can happen after one too many drinks. Now back in the van, there's plenty of storage compartments. There's even a microwave to help you heat up food. There are plenty of windows to let the light in. And there's privacy curtains all over the van for when you're ready to go to bed. And if you fancy a bit of reading before you sleep, there is a reading light thoughtfully placed beside each bed. This being a Japanese campervan means you're not allowed to wear shoes inside your mobile home. In front of our beds is the dining area. Itadakimasu! You can also turn these seats into an extra bed. Right next to our beds is a sink where we can wash our hands and brush our teeth. And right next to it is our TV with a DVD player built in. There's a TV antenna on top of the roof and it's built into the solar panel. And also on the roof is an exhaust fan, which is quite an important thing for a campervan to have, especially if you're planning to sleep in it. Now that you have seen our campervan, let us show you what's it like to live inside one.
Let's go! Whee!
Now I like to think that living inside a campervan is sort of like living inside a spaceship. Except here on Earth, you have gravity, and there's no deadly space vacuum or angry space aliens that are trying to kill you. But just like living inside a spaceship, you're basically living inside a very confined space, and there's not much more room for you to move around. Man, your ass crack is there. Caravan. Woo!
Yep, my bed is down there.
And my bed is here.
Mine's underneath.
I'm in my jammies. Tam's bed. Yep.
Oh, crap. I must sit properly also.
So if you go to bed and you wake up in the morning and you wake up too quickly, you're definitely going to knock your head against the roof. Go to work. And also, unlike sleeping at home, where you have access to a bathroom at night, here in the campervan, you either have to hold it in or you can do it in the wilderness. And if that becomes too spooky for you, you can always go to a convenience store. There's always a public toilet there. The other thing that's not quite the same when you go to bed is that the mattress here aren't the thickest or the plushiest. The sleeping experience is more like sleeping on Japanese tatami mats with a thin layer of mattress underneath. But if you've been driving from one Japanese town to another and you're very tired, by the time you turn in for the night, these beds suddenly become very inviting. And frankly, we found them to be very comfortable and we slept like babies. Now the Japanese summer does get very hot and humid, and when you're inside the campervan, the heat increases immensely. And while the exhaust fan does come in handy, it doesn't do enough to cool us down. So at first we bought these 1,000 yen battery powered fans from Don Quixote. And because they're battery powered, they only lasted us about 2 to 3 hours into our sleep. So we finally worked out that the best solution was to leave the air conditioning running overnight, which meant leaving the campervan's engine running overnight too. So if you're planning to do that, just make sure you have enough petrol in the tank, as it can take about a quarter of your fuel to leave the engine on overnight. So if you're not next to a petrol station the next morning, leaving the air conditioning on overnight could potentially get you stranded. But in case of emergencies like that, we came prepared with alternative transport solutions.
Let's go! Whee!
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
There are two types of petrol stations in Japan, and if you can't read Japanese, you'll always want to go for the attended pumps. Here there are actual humans that will come out to help you top up your fuel. They'll even help you empty your ashtray and clean your windscreen. Top-notch Japanese service. And to use this option, you'll only need to remember one phrase, mantang, which means full tank. The minute they hear that, they'll know exactly what to do. Now, if you do come across some of the self-service pumps, don't worry, the process is always the same. First, you just need to select your fuel grade. And luckily, in Japan, there are only 3 fuel grades to choose from, and they're all written in English. There's diesel, and there's premium unleaded, which is typically 98 octane rating, and there's regular at 95 octane, which is the one we used. So once you've selected your fuel grade, now you just need to select the amount you wish to top up. And once you've done that, just feed the cash into the pump, and now you're ready to start pumping. So whenever we need to do a number 1 or number 2, we would just pull over one of the many rest stop areas along the highway. In Japan, rest stop areas are called Michi no Eki. And sometimes we would camp inside a Michi no Eki just so that we would have access to a toilet at night. In Japan, the toilets are state of the art. They all have heated toilet seats, not particularly useful during summer, but they'll keep your tushy warm during those cold wintry nights. They all have a bidet function built in, which also makes me wonder why we have been living like savages using toilet paper to clean our bums. Please allow me to explain. If you were walking barefoot in a park and you accidentally stepped on some dog poo, would you only use a couple of napkins to just wipe it off? No, you probably washed it off with water. And it's for that reason that a bidet is probably the cleaner way of cleaning your tushy. Let us know in the comment section below, which one do you think is the better way of cleaning up after using the toilet? Now, if you're feeling a bit shy when you're doing your business at a public toilet, don't worry, Japan's smart toilets have got that covered. They can even play white noise in the background to cover up all that unpleasant sound that you're making. I like to think that Japanese value their cleanliness, and it's very hard for you to find a dirty toilet in Japan. Unfortunately, these high-tech shower stations do not exist in Japan. And there is no shower in our campervan too. So where we would shower usually depends on where we decide to make camp for the night. So for example, if we are camping in a camping ground or next to a beach, we would normally have access to a coin-operated shower. These are very simple and easy to use. You only need to remember to bring your 100 yen coins. The showers here are just like the Japanese toilet, they are very clean. Some even have lockers. The only thing you need to remember to bring is your soap, shampoo and towel. When we're not nearby any of these facilities, we would normally go for an onsen or a sento. These are basically Japanese public bathhouses. The onsen uses natural spring water from the ground, while the sento uses water heated using electricity or gas. The cost of entry for a sento is typically between 300 to 400 yen, while the onsen will cost between 900 to 1800 yen. They both provide soap and shampoo inside, so the only thing you need to bring is your own towel. And once you finish your relaxing bath, there are usually places there where you can sit down and chill. And if you're feeling a bit hungry, there's lots of things you can buy off the vending machine. And during our visits, we developed a strange addiction to Japanese milk. The only thing that you need to know about using a Japanese public bathhouse is that when you're in there taking a bath, you need to be completely naked. So if you can get over the thing about being naked around other people, taking a hot relaxing bath after a long day of traveling is incredibly relaxing and therapeutic. We jumped into an onsen once after climbing Mount Fuji, and all our muscle aches just magically melted away. It's incredible and you should try it. It's definitely one of my favorite things to do when I'm in Japan, and it's even better in winter when you can find an onsen that has an outdoor bath. And if you have a tattoo, it might become a bit difficult for you to get into one of these public bathhouses.
Round one, fight!
Oh no! Help me! こんなこといいな、できたらいいな、あんなに。
Looking for a tattoo-friendly bathhouse need not be this dangerous. Check out this website in the description below. They've compiled a list of Japanese bathhouses that are friendly to people with tattoo, so you don't have to get into trouble like we did. There's a lot more stories that we would like to share with you from our trip in Japan, but we couldn't fit them all into this episode. Coming soon in our next episode.
Alright, this is a fantastic Michi-no-eki.
Here is Mount Fuji. If you can see it.
Quick Google search has indicated that I may be starting to experience mild altitude sickness.
Malaysia truly Asia!
Hey Liam, this is for you. I'm on top of Mount Fuji. I'm bagging you a fresh bag of Mount Fuji air. Are you ready to have the best beef in Japan?
Hell yeah!
We just came from a really dodgy center. Alright, we just had a lot of sake. This is what happens when you wake up in Mount Haruna and your friend decides to drive the campervan downhill.
Don't stop me now! Don't stop me
Hi mom, got you Michelin star ramen for you to try. Best ramen we've had in Japan so far.
Today the engine is not starting. We woke up and this is what it looks like today. Well, we've called for rescue and rescue is coming. I'm not sure when. So please subscribe to find out how we were rescued from Kyoto and to find out all the amazing food we ate in Japan. Thank you for watching, and if you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next one.
You lose.